All right, everyone, welcome back to the Academy. I wanted to piggyback off of our last video where we talked about having the perfect takeaway and how that lays the groundwork or framework for really a good golf swing with great contact. So I want to kind of go to the next step of the backswing for you. So we're going to assume good grip, good posture. And in this case, we're really going to start to assume that people have, what we consider to be a pretty good connected takeaway here, just like I'm kind of demonstrating here. From here, it's imperative that this club not roll or go to the inside, right? Look what that's doing to the face angle. Or get, excessively kind of, look at this right arm, right elbow going on top too much. Right? We're really looking for, the next pieces of this backswing as we go from address to, let's call it lead arm parallel here. So boom, we've gotten this part good where the shaft's parallel to the ground. And now as we go to what most golf instructors call as P3 or lead arm parallel to the ground, this shaft is going to start working up the right forearm, somewhere in this neighborhood. Maybe I'm a little on top, maybe I'm in the middle there, and the club face is going to match the right bicep. And that's just really it, the club face being square to the arc. So there's this school of thought out there that for some instructors where they feel like the club face should match the spine. There's another, a group of instructors that feel like the club should be a little more toe up. Now, that's for you to decide for your game and what your needs are. But as far as the remainder of your backswing goes, we're really going to feel that good takeaway. And there's a lot more setting, right? The hands are lower. They're not high up here. They're basically below the belt line. Boom. They're below the belt line, mid thigh, upper thigh there. There's going to start to be some set in the wrist, right? There needs to be some play in the wrist. So it starts to really feel like the club's starting to get some hinging going, right? I feel like my left hand's kind of pushing down a little bit on this handle. That's what's helping elevate that club, right? My right hand's, loading back a little bit, getting into a little bit more extension. It's starting its journey on getting some extension. So again, to show you from down the line here, good takeaway, nice and solid there. And then I'm really going to start working the club up. Right, that's what you start seeing. So it's a little more vertical than for a lot of players. For me, when I'm doing that, I feel like my pelvis, my obliques, my abs, my torso, everything's engaged as I start kind of loading this trail side here. I do not feel like I'm just whipping the club up. I don't feel like I'm just independently taking my hands and arms in any sort of fashion here. I feel like everything's kind of engaged here. So I just want to do that a few more times so you can kind of see that picture. Boom, right? You kind of can see the loading. So we'll give you a drill, of course, like we always do, but I love to paint the picture for you first. It looks pretty good to me there. We're in a pretty good position. Obviously, I'm not really hitting a ball, so it may be a little different. So I think, again, we can use a simple tool like an alignment rod. And again, we'll probably stick a third of it down the club and 2/3 of it's outside the handle here. We're going to go ahead and set up to the ball. And in this case, I think this is going to be an interesting drill for a lot of you at home. You're going to really recognize or identify what your tendencies are. So again, you're going to set up at address. You're going to start taking that club back in that good position that we talked about before. A lot of attachment here, feels good. But now as it starts to hinge, that rod is really going to ride down my lead thigh as the club starts to kind of work upwards. The stick's going to start pointing much more on my stance line. You can kind of see that. Now, if this were a real swing, there'd be some dynamics involved in it, so it'd look a little cleaner. So again, I'm setting up to the ball. I'm feeling like that alignment rod is really attached. Really feels good. Boom. Right? I'm feeling that there. It's riding down my lead thigh and pointing much more on my stance line. That's what's giving the shaft some verticality or some upwardness. From face on here to show you the same visual. Again, everyone at home has this good takeaway drill, this great exercise. Now we're starting to set the club. Look at this alignment rod really going down my thigh. Boom, 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 right? Starting to point more at my stance line. So by the time I get my lead arm parallel, the club's close to vertical, give or take 5 or 7 degrees. It doesn't need to be 120 degrees hinged. But I sure wouldn't want to see this. Are there players that can do that? Of course there are. There are players that can do everything. But they've probably shown that they can do that, and they've gotten to a high level. For you at home, maybe you haven't gotten to a high level yet, so it's probably not recommended you do that. So again, we're setting up an address. We're just feeling like that alignment rod just sliding down the left thigh. It's kind of really simple. right? It's a great feeling to feel like the club's setting. So again, I think that's a very simple idea. Again, I wanted to paint a picture for you here. So try this try this drill, excuse me, and exercise the next time you go to your practice facility or again, your workspace. But more importantly, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow along on this journey of golf improvement as we help you improve as a golfer.